Good evening, fellow salt connoisseurs. So last week, I think it was last week, Jim Ryan, in a meeting with EU regulators and some Activision representatives, he said that he doesn't want a new Call of Duty deal or any new deal at all. He just simply doesn't want Microsoft to merge with Activision, or Xbox to merge with Activision. Now obviously this pissed a lot of people off. Not only is this a very unprofessional thing to say, but it also kind of goes against the narrative that Sony and Jim Ryan have been building of like, oh, this goes against competition, this is bad for consumers. With this, he's basically showing everybody that he doesn't care about the consumers. It's about Sony making money and keeping their market dominance, as was probably obvious to most people. Now, MBG, being the loyal PlayStation fanboy that he is, decided he was going to defend Jim Ryan and Sony in their, bullshittery, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
Topic I want to discuss with you is something that I'm seeing a lot of reactions to that, frankly, to me, it's kind of baffling. I mean, I guess if you're trying to make fun of Sony and make fun of Jim Ryan and stuff, it makes sense. But if that's not what you're doing, I am confused as to how people are finding this surprising.
I mean, it's not surprising. I don't think most people are surprised. It's more like we're surprised that he would say it, out loud during a very important meeting with EU regulators. It's kind of weird, because they've been trying to build this whole argument up of, oh, we're just trying to help out the consumer. This is bad for competition. This would destroy the market, all those things. And then he would basically, with one sentence, he just throws that all away. I mean, I think most of us knew the whole time that it's about Sony keeping their market dominance. But we just didn't expect him to just, in such a, I guess, disrespectful and unprofessional way, just say it out loud. It's kind of weird.
So I have an article here, and it says, Jim Ryan, CEO and president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, reportedly pulled no punches during a closed-door hearing with the EU regulators last month, telling Activision and Microsoft that, quote, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal, I just want to block your merger, end quote.
Real quick, right? The merger is probably going to happen. The acquisition is going to go through. And can you just imagine how upset PlayStation fanboys are going to be if there has not been a deal about Call of Duty? Because without a deal, right, Microsoft doesn't have to put Call of Duty on PlayStation at all. I don't understand why he doesn't just want to take the deal. Can you imagine if you could play Call of Duty on every single platform, including the Nintendo Switch, but not on PlayStation because Jim Ryan refused to make a deal? It's insane.
That's according to Activision's Lulu Cheng-Maservi, who claimed that Ryan's comments came on February 21st, after which Microsoft held a press conference in Brussels to unveil licensing deals for Call of Duty with Nintendo and Nvidia, where it pledged to bring the multi-million selling franchise to 150 million more people.
Again, you know how bad this is for Sony? I know I've been saying this the entire time, but their entire narrative of Sony and their PlayStation fanboys revolves around Microsoft trying to create this big monopoly, and this deal would be horrible for consumers, and yet here is Microsoft already bringing the game or the franchise Call of Duty to 150 players that did not have access to it before. Their narrative is just falling apart.
So yeah, again, this is something that is coming out. It's kind of a he said, she said situation.
It's not though, is it? If it's really a he said, she said situation, then shouldn't he have said something by now to debunk it? Hey, I didn't actually say that. Activision is lying, or any other statement. If it wasn't true, Jim Ryan would have said something about it, but his silence is deafening. He definitely said this behind closed doors.
We have Activision's executive here, Lulu Cheng-Maservi, coming out and clearly intentionally trying to frame this as if it's can you believe Jim Ryan said this? And I'm just over here being absolutely, yes, I can believe he said this.
Of course you can believe it, because you're a PlayStation fanboy who supports PlayStation regardless of what idiotic shit they do, because you're mentally crippled from snorting all the copium.
I don't know why people are acting like this is some kind of like, oh man, I can't believe he actually said that moment, when in reality, it's like, has Sony not made it abundantly clear since the start that their intention is to block this deal? They do not want to negotiate with Microsoft. They don't want to sign a deal, that they construct. They want it to get blocked. I do not understand.
No, MBG. See, the reason why people are so shocked is that Sony, or PlayStation, I mean, they got a deal, right? They got offered a deal. I believe it was like 3 years Call of Duty will stay on your console or whatever. And they said, no, we want Call of Duty on our console for 10 years and we don't want Xbox to have any exclusive content or whatever. They basically asked for a new deal. And then Microsoft goes out of their way to try and create a new deal only for PlayStation to go, oh, we don't want a deal at all. We actually just want your merger to not go through, which was very obvious that that's what they wanted, right? I think most people realized that Sony just didn't want the deal to go through, but with this comment, their entire facade they were putting on of, oh, we just want the best for our players, and oh, we just want a fair, even playing ground. That entire facade they've been trying to build to stop this deal completely falls apart with this comment, which I think that's why people are shocked that he would say something like this. So, well, he didn't say publicly, but still in front of EU regulators, admit that all he really cares about is his own corporate interest, which again was obvious to most people, but he was trying to build this facade of oh no, I'm doing it for the players or whatever.
And why people are acting so shocked about this. Maybe the shock comes in the form of there are people who believe that there's no possible way that Sony could manage to get this blocked, and so it just maybe is a dumb thing for Jim Ryan to say. But at this point in time, look, I don't know whether it's going to get blocked or if it's going to go through, and frankly at this point, considering how dragged out it is, I don't know that I even care.
You very clearly care. You make videos about it all the time.
But to me, this is just Jim Ryan being straight up like, Microsoft, I don't want to sign a contract. I don't want a deal. I don't want anything. I just want to block it. I just want it to get blocked. That's what Sony wants. That's what we want. And I feel like, to be honest, I feel like Sony couldn't be any more clear. You know what I mean? I didn't need to know that this is something Jim Ryan said to know that clearly Sony wants this deal blocked. They're not signing anything.
I mean, I get that. I think we all knew that, but it's still kind of weird that he just very publicly admits, hey, everything I've been saying about caring about our players and wanting, fair competition, yeah, that's been a lie. I care only about my own corporate interests, and I just don't want this shit to go through because, my paycheck might be endangered. Anyway, boys, quick little video for you today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.